See about the warm.
World Superbikes may be on round 3 of the season, but it's time for round number 1. Welcome to the second season of the World's Women's Circuit Racing, and it kicks off here at the Dutch TT in Assen. This is a very, very important championship with some very close people to heart. Welcome. And we're all gearing up then for what is going to be a fantastic race. In about 10 minutes' time, the first session is going to be underway for the World WCR Race 1 of the season as well. You can see the starting grid alongside me. And some friends have been in the championship and are coming back, hopefully, to the championship some point in the future as well. So, here we go. I was at trackside last year, thanks to Sekmet Racing and the wonderful Maddie Patterson. I was able to see exactly how this championship is organised and exactly how it's put on. Let me tell you something, there's no nicer group of racing people in the world. Let's go over then and join our commentary teams to get ready for all the action. Let's check in though. Well, what happened last season?
First of all, you were very unlucky, weren't you, with what happened in Cremona and then Jerez. What are your feelings looking back on 2024?
Yeah, I had the championship good for winning the championship, but for sure the crash in Cremona was unlucky for me, and yeah, I destroyed my season. But for sure I learned a lot from last year. I had to push harder and yeah, to push the girl harder.
Ana Carrasco has obviously gone to Supersport, so does this make things easy now for Maria Herrera?
No, nothing is easy because these bikes are very, very equal, or yeah, a little bit equal. In the straight I have to see something because last year I lost the time in the straight. So for sure I learned a lot, but the strategy had to be better.
What's your opinion now on this championship? Do you think it would be better for the women riders to just stay here for the whole career because the women all race together, or do you see yourself moving on to something else?
Well, I want to be here for sure, but we have to have another bike or another category, no? Because this bike is for a start, for learn young girls can learn, but for me it's like remember the old time. So it's I want to be here because it's a Women World Championship. I can live here, but I want more, and more riders want more. So it's the beginning for sure. Very, very grateful to the championship and all the sponsors, Dorna, but we have to do a big step also.
Has much changed? You've done one test at Cremona, haven't you,
Yeah.
this pre-season just a couple of weeks ago. What's different this year?
Nothing different. For sure I want to do a minimum weight because it's important for me. The minimum weight is like 50 kilos and it's like 6 kilos more than me. I can have less. I don't need. So it's impossible. Just this to put all the things equal for everyone and win the best in the track.
Finally, Assen this weekend, we never know what the weather's going to do. Hot, cold, rain, sun,
Yeah.
anything could happen. Who are the stronger riders going to be fighting with you think, this year?
Oh, everyone can battle with me for sure. Neila, Sara, Roberta, and Pajita this year is fast, so I hope everyone, but for sure I want to win and I have to train and work harder this week.
Good luck in race 1.
Thank you very much.
Have a good weekend.
To be fair, I don't think she's going to need too much good luck, is she? She's been looking absolutely blistering so far in testing and here at Assen. Well, Martina Kutsari joins us. Nice to see you, Martina, the team manager for Clint Forward Racing. Is the pressure on, though, because Maria is the favourite?
No.
Pressure? No?
No, we are okay. We are more or less relaxed, and we want to enjoy this race, this first race of our season. So.
Martina, obviously Ana Carrasco, last year's champion, you know, it was a close fight between yourselves and Ana. She's moved up to the Supersport World Championship now. Do you think this makes the job just a little bit less stressful for Maria?
No, I think that no, because I think that in particular the first position, the first riders of the grid are faster than last year, and I think that the level is a little bit higher. So I know that this will be a really good season.
Martina, we heard Maria there in our video talking about the weight limits and the fact it's not quite fair at the moment. What's happening? What's the difference to the other categories?
You know, in this category, because it's new, there are not too many rules talking about weights, but not only. So also the Dorna and the FIM are changing and evaluating every rules, and this year there is this limit talking about the minimum weight. There are 3 differences between the minimum weight with the rider, the minimum weight of the bike, and the minimum weight talking about both in an average. So we can evaluate something more also considering the fuel and the refill, but in the end they have to give gas.
Talking of giving gas, do you think that Maria, having had a year now with the bike, with the team, with you guys, do you think the performance will come up? Do you think that the Women's World Championship, that the lap times will get faster and faster? How do you feel about this?
Yes, I think that yes, also because Maria, as maybe you know, is not racing with us only in the WCR, but also in the Moto E. So it's the second year that she did 2 categories with us. She knows us, and I think she's comfortable with us. And for her, this is very important.
Well, here she is, Martina, on screen, and she's certainly looking very comfortable, isn't she? And I heard from a lot of the other riders, she was helping some of the new riders as well at the test in Cremona.
Yeah, it was also a good test. We understood that the level is, as I told, high, and that's important also for, you know, for have a good fight during the races.
I think it would make sense, though, wouldn't it, Shaky, to have, you know, a minimum combined weight for bike and rider as we have in the other classes? It would be fairer, wouldn't it, for Maria and everybody else?
For me, that makes sense, especially with the championship being one bike. One bike, every bike's exactly the same. Yeah, for me, it makes a lot more sense to do it this way.
OK, well, Martina, we'll let you go because I know you're probably going to be feeling a bit nervous at this point. So good luck with the race and good luck with the season.
Thank you very much, guys.
And thank you for coming to see us again.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much. OK, well, the weather conditions then are absolutely perfect here. I suppose the pressure's on Maria, though, isn't it, Shaky? You know, if she doesn't win, it's going to be a lost opportunity, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a lost opportunity. It's always easy to count somebody as the favourite or whatever and to expect results. But, yeah, she's certainly one of the favourites, isn't she?
OK, well, let's head up to the commentary box then. Steve English is back with us, and for the first time, Liam Hodgins to talk us through the Women's World Championship. Season 2, 2025 begins now.
Women's circuit racing for season 2 is about to get underway. Maria Herrera on pole position alongside Beatriz Nilo as well, and Sarah Sanchez starts in 3rd. Second row sees Elvan Lewis alongside Roberta Ponzioni as well. Talia Ralph starts in 6th. Chloe Jones starts 7th alongside as well down there with Carino and Michael Rivera, and then Madriani and Emily Bondi starts in 12th. And then down as well, we've got our own Jamie Hanks-Elliott starting in 17th position. Mallory Dobbs starting in 20th as well. 2 people who are a lot of fun to be around as well, let me tell you, for one as well, as we get ready for the grid to start. So 12 laps ahead of us then for the first race of the season. Exactly the same bikes. They are the Yamaha YZF R7s, basically just the R7s. And let me tell you something, from listening to riders, of course, you've heard our own on here on the channel as well, with that being Lizzie Whitmore, who rode in the championship last year with Segment Racing. Our own Maddie Patterson's team isn't on the grid this year, but hopeful to return very soon as well to women's circuit racing. Still, Maddie, I know, 100% passionate about it, and I hope, Maddie, if you're listening, we're all supporting you as well, and missing you immensely. The present's not the same from the test so far. So, Jamie Hanks-Elliott and Mallory Dobbs, who rode for Segment last year, still going to be in the championship now with new rider entries. We've got new teams, new riders coming in as well. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And hopefully, of course, across the season, we'll have that of Lizzie Whitmore joining us in the commentary box, and she'll give us some information. I know she's quite vocal about how bad these bikes actually are. They're the same, they're spec bikes, but they are far, far from perfect. You can't put the power on in the corner, so they're really only good down flat out straights. They're incredibly difficult to ride. So that test at Cremona a few weeks ago was incredibly handy. Let's check in there with Stephen Lewis ahead of the race start.
Form, don't need for getting or finding each other on the track as the riders make their way around the bottom end of the circuit. We saw yesterday in Superpole, this was a very important section of the track with the wind that affected some of the riders. We did see riders, if they weren't getting a slipstream, maybe losing about 3 or 4 tenths of a second, which made Beatrice Naylor's lap and her progress through the section even more interesting because she did it all entirely by herself.
Yeah, the headwind yesterday really did cost a lot of riders if they were out on their own, and it was interesting during the Superpole session to see some riders went out in pairs, some went out on their own, some tried to wait for as long as possible for someone to run with, and then they ended up everyone having to set their fast times in those final 5 minutes, and it was literally a case of, I've got to go, I've got to get my lap in.
And that was the case as well as they really get ready and line up on the grid then. Tensions starts to rise. Let's take the grid away and get ready for those lights to go out, as we say. It will be a total of 12 laps then. Maria Hera on pole position. Now with Anna Carreso up in World Supersport for this season. Is Maria with 6 wins to her name gonna go there, or is Sarah Sanchez standing in third gonna be a title contender? Green flag in the back. 12 laps, the second year of the Women's World Circuit Racing is under starters' orders. And lights out, we're underway. Great start from Maria Hera, bad start from Sarah Sanchez, goes back down the order. Brilliant start coming up on the inside from Avion Lewis as well. She's going to pull around the outside line, down to turn 1. Neela Bellatrix as well. No, Bellatrix can't get through on the inside line there. So Maria Hera keeps the lead of the race. They come through. Who's made a good start? Who's moved up places? Carreno's up into 7th as they come round the long looping turns 2 and 3. About 15 seconds permanently on the right side. It's quite hard to keep it going. Back on now and open up the throttle for the first time down the back straight. We see Budaselfo as well up into 13th position. Jessica Haldon up into 12th. And Mallory down into 20th, and Jamie's in 19th. So Hera leads, so Neela, Lewis, Sanchez down to 4th, Jones, Ralph, Carreno, Ponziani up there as well, and Emily Bondi still in 10th position as well as they come through to complete the first mini sectors. And already there's the 99 of Isa Carrano as well, alongside Tola Ralph trying to just hold it together. No one's down so far, and they've all got through cleanly. As again, the 96 dives up the inside of the 8, so that's Roberta Ponzioni getting ahead of Carreno. She's gone through nicely on the inside. So no jump starts from race control. That was the best thing we could have at the start of the race, as the racing now just gets the right timing screen open. That would be the best start as well. So, all good then, as the first lap here will be completed. It's a 12-lap race in total. Let's have a look, as Mallory's past Jamie, so okay. Mal's up to 19th, Jamie's down to 20th at the moment. And Billy Fuller up in 21st, passing Sonia Lloyd. Beatrice Barber down in 23rd position at the moment, but we've got, again, like we saw last year, breakaways at the front, but this time the 2 Spanish riders, Maria Hera and Bellatrix Neela, are at the front. Avion Lewis, she's trying to close in behind. Sarah Sanchez just on the outside, but by about 8 tenths back as they come through. Now we get our full timing monitors open as well. Jessica Howden moves up into 11th position as Ruzi gets ahead up into 17th ahead of Lou. So that's Lou down into 18th position. Roberta Ponzioni up into 5th position now as well, gets ahead of Chloe Jones, another British rider we have to keep an eye on here from a British standpoint in the championship, as side by side down into the first sector point as well. It's still coming through. Sarah Sanchez losing out on a couple of positions. There goes the 96 of Roberta Ponzioni through on the inside line of the 15 of Chloe Jones in our TV pictures now. And lap time counts up with a 32 of Sonia Lloyd, exceeding track limits at turn 18 on the first lap of the race. That's the last corner on the track. So it's simple to do, easy to do really, not going to be too much of an issue. As Buselfa up into 12th position now as well, and slowly this race is starting to come to those who have more experience with the bike, have more longevity with the bike, and I think that was one of the key things. Let's check in with the world feed. As again, Naylor on the back of Maria Herrera trying to come down as well. Can Maria hold on? So far, yes.
Try and give herself that opportunity to lead, but there's no real point at this stage. It's one of those situations with a 12-lap race, just be patient, wait until 2/3 distance, and then those final 4 laps, that's whenever you really start to attack. Herrera is always very strong on the brakes, and that's going to make it difficult for Naylor to come through.
Beatrice Naylor, we have to remind you, only completed 5 laps before racing here this weekend. 5 laps back in the World Supersport 300s back in 2019. So she's been learning lap after lap around here, and yesterday in Superpole she just was sent out by the team, ticked off the laps and came to within 0.2 of a second of taking pole position as a new all-time lap record has been set by Maria Herrera. So this morning's conditions are really giving the riders a lot of confidence to push on so far, and with every single lap, considering they've only had 25 minutes both in free practice and the Superpole, the riders are still learning lap after lap.
Yeah, quick warm-up as well this morning for 10 minutes. So for the riders, it's every time you're out on track, you're picking something up. And that was the interesting thing talking to Naylor yesterday. She felt like every lap she was learning something, making a bit of progress, and that's the important thing. Behind them, Avalon Lewis now 1.1 seconds down. She was a second slower last time around than the riders in front of her. She just needs to dig in as much as she can. It's really tough though, because she doesn't have someone giving her that draft in front of her. She's breaking her own air around here, and it means that you're that little bit slower in the final sector. You give up a bit of ground. If you look what we've seen on the lap so far, she's pretty much able to match the pace of the leaders in the first sector, loses out by 0.4 of a second in sector 2 because she doesn't have that draft in front of her.
The draft is everything around the final couple of sectors here at Assen. Watching battle for 11th. That's Borisol, Howden and Michelle. They're a little bit further back, and for Howden, struggled a little bit so far from the start. There was maybe expect a little bit more from Jess Howden, who has had a couple of top 10 finishes towards the end of last season at Jerez, so she's on the brink of the top 10. However,
here we go.
To tick off lap number 3,
I thought she was going to go
towards
through.
the Get Timber chicane once again. It's still Herrera leading the way, and Beatrice Naylor, we did see the start of the previous lap.
I thought she was going to go for it,
and she'll be happy to know that these two out front are by themselves, and she won't be coming under attack from any of the other riders.
Just looking at it for Avalon Lewis, you can see in the timing tower on the left-hand side of the screen, the gap now underneath a second. She was 0.3 of a second faster last time around. She made all that up in the second half of the lap, so that's good for Avalon that she's been able to dig herself in and try and just ease yourself back up to those lead 2 riders. If they fight with each other, they will cost each other time. For Avalon, it's about making sure you're in a position to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it'd be good to see if Avalon can hold off Sarah Sanchez, but already on this lap number 4, the gap has come down to 0.4 of a second between the 21 on your screen and the number 64 that we're looking at now. Sarah Sanchez looking for another podium. She picked up 9 last year. She's looking for a 10th one. And of course, Maria Herrera and Sarah Sanchez, 9 apiece in terms of podiums. So consistency is not the issue for Sarah Sanchez, and neither is the speed for the Spanish rider on the number 64, but chasing down her 10th podium in the class. But Avalon Lewis looking for her first, so the New Zealand rider, of course, a rookie season. She did compete in Cremona last year, where she picked up a very good result with the top 6. But Avalon Lewis really showing her colours here this weekend and doing a super job.
On this lap, look at Sanchez. She's done a very good job to put herself in a position to get onto the back end there of the 21. And important for Sanchez to make sure she can come away with a podium. We've got 25 points on offer for the race winner, 20, 16, and then 13 for where Sanchez is right now. You don't want to give Maria Herrera the chance to open up a points lead, leaving this opening round of the year. Sanchez views herself as a championship contender and needs to push on from this early stage this season.
Yeah, well, Sarah Sanchez down in 4th position at the moment, but this battle for the lead is absolutely thrilling, because we've got Beatrix Naylor right on the back of Maria Herrera as they come down into the braking zone for turn 1. Is Naylor going to look at the inside? No, Maria's defending nicely, but the 64 of Sarah Sanchez back ahead the inside of Avalon Lewis. Now she finally goes back up to 3rd place. She's been waiting for that for a couple of laps to see if the gaps would change up, so Sanchez moves up into 3rd position. Quick check down the red, and hello, lap time cancelled for the 76 of, oh, that's Jamie Hanks Elliott, exceeding track limits at turn 18. 1:52.754 was her lap time. She's lost that. Astrid Madrigal as well. The Mexican rider, she's up into 8th place now as they come through. Still battling. Lewis back to the inside line, and she's going to go through on the inside of Sarah Sanchez. Sanchez trying to come back and down in turns 7, 8 and 9. Not going to be an opportunity, I'm afraid, to get through there. There will still be differentials of grip and speed to that part of the sector, and unfortunately I think that's going to be detrimental for Sarah Sanchez, who's now set back down into 4th position. A better run and a better speed as we finally see the rest of the field now. That's Emily Bondi at the back of the group there, to Carreno, Madrigal, Ralph Jones as well coming through. And what's happening here? What's happened to Ruiz as well, the Spanish rider? She's dropped down 3 places now as well, down into 16th position. Here we go again. Maria Herrera still got the lead of the race. Beatrix Naylor can't get through. Maria Herrera was really trying her best to just sort of shake the tail, but unfortunately Beatrix is just going to stick to her like glue for the rest of the race. It's going to be thrilling, this one. Oh, and out of the race goes Lucy Michael. Lucy Michael goes out of the race. She's crashed out. And, well, unfortunately, the young German who has so much dedication and passion and feels everything, there she is. She's back behind the barrier, holding her ribs a little bit. I hope she's okay. Not a nasty one now, turn 7 as well. She's up and walking, and that's the best thing. But wonderful as well. I had a couple of conversations with her. She was literally next to us at medical centre. Yeah, she's gone to the medical centre. I'm not surprised she'll go there after that one. So that's his turn 7's a flat-out kick, so not surprised. So I hope she's okay. But yeah, I had a word with her at Donington. She was right next to well, it's a unique pit complex here in the paddock for World WCR, because they're just massive tents, and it's a cool atmosphere, and it's an equality feeling. It's quite nice, and yeah, basically she was next to us, and at one point Mallory and her came together, and I was expecting frostiness, but there was nothing but love, which I thought was quite nice. Back to TNT.
Ponziani and Jones go through the shop, but this titanic battle for 7th position between Ralph and the number 8 Madrigal. She's made a move up towards the top 8 past Carreno, so, and Bondi. She's about to make a move potentially towards the end of the lap. You'd be very brave to do that there through the fast right-hander.
Emily Bondi on the number 4 machine was very strong yesterday in the Super Pole session. She was doing her laps on her own before she crashed at turn 5, but Bondi trying to make that step forward compared to where she was last year. And even though Super Pole ended with the crash, there was a lot to be said for her performance to go out there and do it on her own.
A new all-time lap record has just come through from Beatrice Naylor, 47.6 from the number 36. That was a 10th of a second quicker than Maria Herrera just in front of her. So those two are really scurrying off into the distance, and that's only the 3rd lap time we've seen this weekend in the 47s.
Just all the way down into P12, Jess Howden setting her personal best, but almost all of the riders in those top 12 positions setting their personal best last time around. So everyone's just gaining that experience, working within their draft partners as well. Good effort here from Avalon Lewis on the number 21 machine. She's not letting the 64 of Sanchez get away from her.
Yeah, these two have swapped positions a couple of times in the last few laps, and Avalon Lewis looking towards the outside of the fast right-hander at the end of the Veenslang, and you'll be very brave to do that there in towards Ruskenhoek. Turn number 7, fantastic corner there, very fast left-hander, but we're back with the leaders with 5.5 laps remaining, and we just get confirmation there with the all-time lap record, the 47.685 from Beatrice Naylor. So these two are really scurrying off into the distance, and I think Maria Herrera at the start of the weekend would have thought that maybe this would be a place that she'd be able to maybe dominate the weekend, but after speaking to her after Super Pole yesterday, she was thinking that Beatrice Naylor, maybe Sarah Sanchez and a couple of others could have gone with her, but so far in race number 1 it is only Naylor, and she's not really been dropped at all. If anything, she is showing a wheel here and a couple of places in towards the chicane, so just letting Maria know that she is there, but Maria Herrera, she is a very experienced rider, and she's able to soak up the pressure very well.
Yeah, you're able to see where everyone's braking with these bikes just by looking at the front end and when it dips down, and that's whenever you're able to see that they're fully compressing the forks, and then you're able to know that the weight has transferred onto the front and that they're on the brakes. So you're able to see if Maria's braking that little bit deeper. She looked to be doing that into the chicane, maybe not into turn 1. But for Herrera, it's about having that confidence on the brake point. For the number 36 of Beatrice Naylor, it's going to be about forcing the issue, and we'll see if she's able to do that.
And forcing the issue, I thought it would be to have another change of position between Bondi and Madrigal for 8th and 9th, but Bondi just sits in behind Madrigal on the number 83 for now. This is a great battle for the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. And just coming into the background, the number 17 of Bodisol, the French rider, she's just been chipping away, and on that previous lap, she was a couple of tenths faster than the group in front.
Interesting about Bodisol, the last 2 laps she set her personal best. She's actually moved herself up onto provisionally that 3rd row of the grid with the 7th fastest lap of the race. So as she's gaining that experience here on her debut weekend, she's getting faster and faster.
Yeah, it's good to see from some of these riders that are just gaining experience around the TT circuit. Asin, as the crowd in the background looks on, a very big crowd we have here on Saturday morning at one of the most iconic venues on the calendar. On this lap, it looks like Sarah Sanchez is just breaking away ever so slightly from Avalon Lewis on the previous lap. She was able to set a lap time 0.3 of a second faster than Lewis, but it looks like maybe Lewis, if she can get into slipstream through this section of the circuit, should be able to just close that gap back up as we get towards the Gert Timmer chicane with 4 1/4 laps remaining of race number 1 of 2025. The world of WCR is back and it's off and running once again. And look at the front, we just see the timing gap. I don't think we need it of under 1/10 of a second between Herrera and Naylor. Across the line, 4 laps to go for our race leaders. Maria Herrera leading the way, the most experienced rider we've got potentially in the field, and of course the most successful in World WCR with 6 victories, 9 podiums, and of course 4 pole positions. We may have a change of 3rd place again as Lewis looks up the inside, just shows a wheel on Sanchez, just letting her know that she's there, but she may be in a perfect position to strike on the last couple of laps.
Just to say as well, we're past 2/3 race distance. So if red flag comes out now, that'll be a full result. This is where if you're in a position to attack, you want to be at the front of those groups, and you can see for this second group here, Avalon Lewis trying to take that wider entry in towards the slow turn 5. This sets you up then down the long straight to try and use the drive for the bike as well. So we'll see what she's able to do through that section, but good riding so far from Lewis.
Yeah, learning a lot is Lewis from Sarah Sanchez in this race 1. The gap at the front is so 0.2 of a second.
Information is that Lucy Michael has been taken to the medical centre for a checkup.
And it's just a problem with our time monitor, but thankfully Naylor is still there, and we see the number 16 of Michelle has been taken to the medical centre for a checkup, so fingers crossed as we've got a change of lead. That is Naylor up the inside.
Finally! Finally! So Beatrice Naylor dives up the inside, coming through Ruskin Hook and takes the lead of the race, but now Maria Herrera is going to be right on the back of her down through the back sector towards turn 3. She's going almost on the curb, just goes on the inside as we see Lucy Budisil has crashed out of the race as well. That's going to possibly maybe bring out the red flag. See where that goes in a second. Don't know where she's gone off the track at the moment. Maria Herrera round the outside of Beatrice Naylor into the chicane, and finally she retakes the lead, but now the battle is on with 3 laps to go. This will be the racing point to go into it. Now she dropped out of 13th place to the back. So 2 out of the race with 3 to go. Not too bad in the overall results of things as well. And she's being helped away by the marshals as well. I hope they don't have to stop the race or anything like that. We haven't seen anything as Astrid Madrigal moves up into 7th position. She gets ahead of Taylor Ralph as well. Now Naylor still right on the back of Maria Herrera. Can Herrera just hold on to that win through turn 7? She's done it before. She's won 6 times, 9 podiums, 4 pole positions now in her career as they come through. We're in the TT Assen, if you want to know where we were. And also Lucy has now, both Lucy's crashed out of the race, my goodness. And they've both been taken to the medical centre now for active competing as they fly in. 3 to go. Maria Herrera leads the races.
Marshals have to be able to get it moved. It could be a case of for another lap you've got that yellow out, but we'll wait and see what the situation is down there. As it is, for these riders at the front, they've seen that issue now, and they'll know that if they want to attack, you've got to do it now just to make sure you're at the front in case that red comes out. But almost
Beatrix is going for it. She's going through the inside.
Neil is attacking Maria, and of course she's seen that gravel on the track, so she might know the red flag could potentially come out at the end of this lap, but hopefully we get racing all the way towards the end. But Nayla takes the lead and already scorpering away into distance, a little bit deep potentially into the Gertimmer chicane, but gets it all gathered up perfectly, and across the line, 2 laps to go. It's Nayla leading the way from Maria Herrera, but Herrera's right into the slipstream. Later on the brakes, no, she just sat up a little bit earlier there, maybe just poised right now to sit behind Nayla for a lap and then strike on the final lap.
Yeah, for Maria, she's not, or maybe not. She's going to try and come through.
Maria back on the inside line, my goodness me!
Side by side, there could be contact there. Maria's setting up Nayla, just
Maria's
let it go by, so that's good clean racing from the top 2.
Yeah, and for Nayla, you can see now she's going to take that wide entry in towards the slow left-hander, and that's going to set her up down the back straight to maybe attack into turn 6.
Yeah, down the ramp shot we go once again. We're approaching the scene of where the gravel was on the track, but the number 17 bike has been cleared up. So, a lap and a half remaining. It is Herrera versus Nayla. Nayla chasing her first ever victory in World WCR and a 5th podium potentially, but this is a great ride here from Nayla on the number 36.
You can see there the yellow flags are in. They've actually got the lack of adhesion flag.
A lot of gravel there, a lot of gravel.
Look where the gravel is there for those riders as Avalon Lewis tries to use all the track and then runs in a bit deep into the corner. Possibly just from the gravel
red flag.
There, just taking away some of the grip, but doesn't cost her too much momentum.
Yeah, it looked like maybe Sarah Sanchez maybe just checked up a little bit to make sure that she didn't tuck the front going over that gravel, and it just checked up Avalon Lewis. Further back, Ponziani has really scuppered away from Chloe Jones for that battle for 5th.
And it's now all about that run towards the end of the lap, the Gertimmer curve, to see whether or not Nayla on the 36 is able to attack again. Penultimate time, this one you can try and almost have a rehearsal for the last lap, but we know how strong Maria Herrera is on the brakes in towards the slow corners at the end of the lap.
This will be an attempt at the last lap as well, so this will be the repeat situation. Maria Herrera is defending brilliantly. Beatrix Nayla's right on the back. Sarah Sanchez back up into 3rd place, by the way, by 0.6 of a second to Avalon Lewis, so she did manage to get through. This is the last lap then of race 1 here at the TT Assen for the World WCR Championship. Maria Herrera leads this race. There's gravel at the exit of Ruskin Hook though, so I wonder, I'm surprised they haven't thrown the red, to be fair. It's not just a little bit of gravel, it's all over the circuit as well. Usually it would be a red flag situation, but I think we were too close to the end of the race, and we've got a tight schedule to get into the weekend as well. Continuing on, down towards said Ruskin Hook. So far, everyone looking super duper. So they will continue to turn. Just keeps the race cool and calm. That time still cancelling for the yellow flag. Lewis catching Sanchez, Nayla catching Herrera. She's right on the back as they're coming towards sector 3 now. Not much change anywhere else. Kind of points paying positions as well. Top 15, remember, play points. So we've got Mallory Dobson 16th, Jamie Elliott 17th, Lucy Meng as well in 18th position, Sonia Lloyd 19th. So we'll see if they change. They're running closer together into the last sector now. Maria Herrera will defend very hard the inside line. Beatrix Nayla trying to go around the outside, coming down towards the chicane, and Nayla's going to dive through on the inside. I don't think Maria knew that was coming. Is she going to run it out too deep? They're going to go side by side of the line, and they're off the track at the line, side by side. And by 67 thousandths of a second for her first ever career win, it's Beatrix Nayla who wins the season opener. She beats Maria Herrera, the championship favourite, by 67 thousandths of the line with a side-by-side and respect between the two immediately. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Now that, Beatrix dives on the inside at the last 2 corners, forces Maria Herrera wide. Herrera keeps it on the green stuff and takes the flag by 67 thousandths behind Beatrix Nayla, who wins. Oh, fantastic race. That was a good ending. And the podium is under investigation. Okay.
Keep the victory. She has shown that she is well and truly in championship contention. She's waving to the crowd, and one of the biggest personalities that the whole paddock has here in the World Superbike paddock, Beatrice Naylor, always running around with a smile on her face, and she's taken cross the line first, but potentially not kept it.
Just to say as well, Beatrice Naylor's lap time last time, a 48.1. It was her fastest lap of the race.
Right, did she cut the
But
track?
it's already been deleted, so she won't keep that lap time for exceeding track limits. The podium's under investigation. The stewards have obviously seen that she's exceeded limits on that final lap.
So
and
that'll be a
we'll
drop
see
in
whether or not
place.
they change the podium positions as well. But super
So
effort
Maria
from
Herrera
Beatrice
might
to be
win
able to
it.
do that. It was a really impressive ride from her. And look at how much she wanted this down in towards the last corner. Herrera does the right thing. She takes the wide line to make sure that she's able
just
to
touched the green
carry
last
the
corner,
momentum through
yeah.
the corner. There's very little you can do when that bike's alongside you, like Beatrice Naylor was. But very clear to see she's over the green
she's off the
paint.
track, so
And,
that's going to go to
that'll
Maria
be,
Herrera. And they've confirmed it. They've swapped the positions. Penalised one place. Maria Herrera wins round 1 of the World WCR Championship to Beatrix Naylor, who finishes in 2nd position. Sarah Sanchez is 3rd.
More so than Beatrice Naylor.
Yeah, it's just come up on our timing monitor. The number 36 of Beatrice Naylor dropped 1 position for exceeding track limits at the final chicane. It was a slam dunk decision. However, you've got to give it up to Maria Herrera. She has put in such an incredible performance all weekend. And of course, she takes her 7th race win in World WCR to open her account in perfect fashion. However, she will know there's a bit of pressure coming from Beatrice Naylor, who crossed the line first, but has been docked at 1 position for just running a little bit too deep at the chicane. You've got to give it to her. She did put in the effort, she did go for it, and you can't ask her for too much more.
Yeah, exactly. And you're 9 seconds up the road from Sarah Sanchez, so you've done a really good job. If you're Beatrice Naylor and her team, they'll be happy with that. They've got a rider that shows that she's not afraid of going against Maria. She's not afraid to go bar to bar and try something. It was good to see the racecraft as well. When we got past 2/3 distance, she attacked. She went for it. So shows a little bit of smarts on the bike as well there, Naylor. That's good to see. When we look at what we should see for tomorrow's race as well, obviously Maria Herrera will start as your favourite again. She will start as your pole sitter. That's going to be Beatrice Naylor.
Yeah, it will be indeed. So Beatrice Naylor going for pole position for the first time in her career, which will be great for the number 36. And of course, they were almost a second quicker through the entire race than Sanchez, which is saying something. And it just shows the level of Maria Herrera and Sarah Sanchez, and Sanchez is able to go with that level.
It shows as well to be able to use that draft. You can see here for Maria and Beatrice down there in Parc Ferme. And we'll have Maria from the middle of the front row tomorrow, courtesy of her fastest lap in this race. It was Beatrice Naylor that set the fastest lap. That's rewarded with a pole position. Herrera, Sanchez up there in the front row of the grid. Ponziani will be leading off the second row of the grid from Avalon Lewis. Chloe Jones, Bodisel, who we saw have that crash, will start from the 3rd row of the grid. Emily Bondi actually had a really good performance in this one. Comes away with a top 10 finish, her 3rd top 10 in WCR, but probably her best race weekend so far as well. She set her lap times on her own in the Super Pole session, and she's able to do a good job in this race as well to come away with a top 10 finish. And then rounding out the 3rd row of the grid, Astrid Madrigal, who finished in 8th position in this one.
Yeah, great stuff from the top 9 for tomorrow, as well as we see Beatrice Naylor. She'll be a little bit disappointed with how it ended. However, she did make a move, and just missed out on her first race victory in World WCR. Our team are just trying to tell her to keep your chin up. There's always tomorrow, and well, she has shown that she is well and truly in contention for this championship, even after race number 1 of the opening round, because Maria Herrera did come into this season as a clear favourite, and throughout the course of the weekend did have an advantage over the rest of the field. But throughout Super Pole, Beatrice Naylor just kept chipping away lap after lap, and finally got that pole advantage down towards 0.2 of a second. And we saw here today, racecraft very consistent, very good, and of course she was able to make a lunge on the final lap. We just saw Sarah Sanchez there, maybe a little bit disappointed that she finished so far off the top. 9 seconds she was almost back of your race winners. Did hold off Avalon Lewis. She just missed out on her first ever podium, but best result in the class for Avalon Lewis. And she's learned a lot here today, has Avalon, New Zealand rider, going into race number 2 tomorrow. So we've got the top 3 in Parc Ferme. Once again, it is Maria Herrera, her 10th podium in World WCR, her 7th victory, going off from her 4th pole position. So it's been a perfect start to the weekend, but can she continue it in race number 2?
Yeah, for Herrera, we saw last year she started the season with a win in race 1 and race 2. She did the double from pole at Misano, and she's halfway there now. But good to be able to see Nela push her all the way, and that's what we need to see all the way through the season. We know how good Maria is, we know her experience, but we need to see riders that can go with her, challenge her, and they're going to beat her at times through the season.
Yes, well indeed. And Beatrice Nela, you expect to take her first victory at some point this year, as we're about to hear from our 3rd place finisher, Sarah Sanchez, is down with Alvaro.
Sarah, 3rd position in race 1, not a bad way to start the championship.
Yeah, today was a difficult day because the girls are very fast. We have some problems, but we try to know something for tomorrow. So we will try.
All the best for tomorrow. Congratulations.
Sarah Sanchez there, podium position, her 10th in World WCR, and getting her account well and truly underway here at the TT Circuit Assen after race number 1, fending off the 21 of Avalon Lewis all the way throughout. But she'll be hoping for more tomorrow to try and challenge the top 2. So we're about to hear from our 2nd place finisher, Beatrice Naylor. It was a great result for Beatrice here today, and maybe probably our more convincing races, because it wasn't a battle at the front with maybe 5 or 6 riders. It was just a duel at the front, and she took it all the way to Maria Herrera. Here she is with a big smile on her face, finishing 2nd today. Beatrice Naylor is down with Alvaro.
Beatriz, what a race and what a last lap. 2nd position at the end. Tell us, how do you feel?
Yeah, it was my feeling now are incredible because I didn't expect this, but finally, yeah, I arrived in 3rd position for me, but I touched the green in the last corner, so I did 2nd. Tomorrow we have another opportunity, and let's try tomorrow. Enjoy it and also be happy.
Enjoy the podium. Congratulations.
After the initial disappointment of just missing out on the victory, she seemed very pleased with the race, or with 2nd position in race number 1. Here we go again. Made the lunge into the final chicane. Can't ask too much more from Beatrice Naylor, but as we have said, Maria Herrera is an absolute demon on the brakes, and she just had to go that extra little bit. Very close to gathering it up, but just running over the green and being docked 1 position. But nonetheless, a fantastic effort from Beatrice Naylor to put the pressure on Maria Herrera, take the fight to Herrera, but at the end it will be Herrera who does take the victory here today, and of course those well important points of 25 points, and she will be talking to Alvaro. So for your race 1, the opening race of the 2025 campaign, Maria Herrera is your race 1 winner.
Maria, pole position and race 1 win. So far, so good, isn't it?
See, I felt so good, so happy, because I knew I had a room for do a gap, but Nela did a strong race. I have to congratulate her because did an amazing job and my race fun, no? But for sure a little strong. But I'm happy to finish first. But until the last lap, I thought I was 2nd.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You could never count it over until it's over, and Maria Herrera just thinking she was 2nd, but with Neil just touching the green. And this is a replay of what we had earlier on in the race. We thought it was maybe going to be contact between the top 2, but just leaving each other enough room to get through turn 3, and this is the final corner once again. And maybe she'll be looking back at this, you can imagine tonight, just say, maybe if I just braked maybe a metre or 2 a little bit earlier, I wouldn't have touched the green, I would have kept the victory. But hindsight is a wonderful thing, and Beatrice Naylor will learn from that, and the fact that she was able to take the fight to Maria on brakes is an incredible thing.
Yeah, where you brake is to try and make the move, and she's got to try and be aggressive there. You're trying to brake later than Herrera. Herrera brakes on the limit. You're trying to go in that little bit more to take the move, and for Naila, it was unfortunately just a couple of meters too late, but she's able to at least throw a warning shot across Maria, and that's important.
Yeah, Maria Herrera is now feeling a little bit of pressure coming away of the number 36. And it's not just Sanchez she'll have to look out for. Naila is here to take the fight to Herrera as well. And here we are, confirmation of your starting positions for tomorrow. But will be Naila with the fastest lap. The new all-time lap record of 47.6. She'll be starting from pole position ahead of Maria Herrera and Sarah Sanchez. The top 3 from today will be your front row of the grid tomorrow. Ponziani, she went through to 5th, and she'll be starting from 4th ahead of Avalon Lewis, who picked up a career best best and 4th spot. She'll be going from the middle of the 2nd row of the grid. And Chloe Jones, that's 6 positions from 3. So once again, Chloe Jones is showing that she's well and truly one to watch in World WCR in 2025. And the Pirelli Best Lap Award goes to Beatrice Naylor, who will be starting from pole position tomorrow for race number 2, which we hope will be just as exciting and combative as race 1 was here today. And of course, race number 2 will start at the same time tomorrow. It will be 10 to 12. But before we get that all underway, we've still got our top 3 to welcome onto the podium. Sarah Sanchez there, 3rd place after Super Pole yesterday, 3rd place here today. You can't ask too much more from the Spanish rider. Beatriz Naylor, big smile on her face. 2nd place here today, but took the fight to Maria Herrera. She'll pick up a very important 2nd place trophy, her 5th podium in her career. But taking her 7th victory in World WCR, it is potentially your championship favourite. And of course, based on what we've seen so far this weekend, she is your championship favourite. It is Maria Herrera, taken to the top step of the podium as we're about to have our trophies handed out to our top 3. So that's podium number 10 for Sarah Sanchez, and cracks a smile, and she'll be looking for more tomorrow for race number 2. And the gap of 9 seconds, even though she's quite pleased with the podium, a gap of 9 seconds to the top 2, she'll be looking to try and find a bit more from that. Member of the board of the TT Circuit Assen hands over the trophy to Beatrice Naylor. And you can hear a big cheer from the team and, of course, the fans that have come out in their droves to watch the racing here at a glorious sunny day at the TT Circuit Assen. And, of course, the biggest trophy for your Race 1 winner. And it is Garrett Keane, member of the board of the TT Circuit Assen, hands the 1st place trophy to Maria Herrera. And that'll be one of many you should expect in 2025. So an all-Spanish podium, and of course we will hear the Spanish national anthem reign supreme for your winner.
The national anthem of Spain.
Plenty of fans down there in Park Fermi celebrating the top 3 from your race number 1 of World WCR as the Prosecco is spring.
Yeah, it's champagne time. What an amazing race for WCR to kick off. We'll be back later for World Superbikes Race 1. Join us then. Thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.